missing the other day, but a lot of other things have been going on that I feel like nobody has been talking about. So I mean, it's not really a conspiracy theory thing, but I just wanted to bring light to that real quick. But before I do that, we're gonna go over this YouTube video showing what happened with that submarine disaster.
On June 18th, 2023, Titan, a submersible operated by Oceangate, went missing in international waters in the North Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. The submersible was on a tourist expedition to view the wreckage of the RMS Titanic with
Wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me make sure this John good.
5 individuals on board, including the founder and CEO of Oceangate, Stockton Rush.
But I hear mad things went on with him actually. I got some things here that I wanna these 3 things is for us today. And check it. I wanna see what he said his name was.
The estimated 3 days of oxygen in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. The submersible was on a tourist expedition to view the wreckage of the RMS Titanic with 5 individuals on board, including the founder and CEO of Oceangate, Stockton Rush. Due to the estimated 3 days of oxygen supplied, there was a huge rescue effort by the US Coast Guard and Canada's Coast Guard, which was unsuccessful until early on June 22nd, when evidence of the wreckage of the vessel started to emerge, leading to the tragic conclusion that the vessel imploded in the ocean depths and there were no survivors. As an engineer, I'm furious about what happened and the different shortcuts that were taken. We'll go through all of that today. So let's try to figure out exactly what happened and what we can learn from it. I'm Ricky, and this is Too Big Adventure.
Nah, yeah, cause I don't know if any of you saw any of the videos of it, but I saw 1 or 2, and I was just looking at that like, yo, I would never go in that as a submarine. Just the way how it opened alone just looked like a flawed design for me. If you look at how normal submarines are opened, like it's just that hatch at the top, this thing opened real weird. I hope this dude show it. If he doesn't, I'ma just find it and show you guys. But let's start with
what we know about the company operating the Titan.
Right, check it. Yeah. So this is where it opens, yo. Like you can see it right here. Yes, I swear, this is where it looked like it opened. If it didn't open right here, it probably opened here. But
let's start with what we know about the company operating the Titan submersible. Oceangate Incorporated is a privately held U.S. company operating out of Everett, Washington, that provides crewed submersibles for tourism industry and research and exploration. The company was founded in 2009 by Stockton Rush and Guillermo Söhnlein. Stockton Rush wanted to be an astronaut, so he got his commercial pilot license. But because of bad eyesight, he could never be a military pilot. So instead, he moved from San Francisco to Seattle to work at McDonnell Douglas as a flight test engineer for the F-15 Eagle. After attending the launch of Spaceship One in the Mojave Desert in 2004, he decided he didn't want to go up to space as a tourist. He wanted to be like Captain Kirk on the Enterprise. He wanted to explore and pivoted his pursuit to undersea exploration. He was married to Wendy Rush, a descendant of Isidore and Ida Strauss, 2 people who actually passed away on the sinking of the Titanic, which ties into the story here today. The tragic events happened during a deep-sea tourism expedition to explore the wreckage of the Titanic, which sunk in the northern Atlantic in 1912. Before we get into the specifics of this particular tragedy, let's put just how difficult deep-sea exploration is into context.
Wait, hold on. So before he continue, I'ma just the video at the side. Obviously, I'm not working on it right now, but it's of this time drawing piece that I've been working on. These time drawings of mine, I mean, they seem to get like the best of reactions out of you guys and out of most people who see them, so I really appreciate that. And like, I don't know, so I'm working on this piece. I really love the concept of it. I started this whole concept, this idea in like 2019, and then I continued it when I was living in Rome, and from there I made 3 of them. Each of them is like 60 hours. I timed them and everything. They're 60 hours long. I'm gonna just show you guys what I'm working on right now real quick. So this is it right here in its entirety. This is the one I'm working on right now. I definitely used my magnifying glass to get really in there, have some really great details. Let me see if I can get this closer to you so you can like see how detailed it gets. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna call this one. I'm thinking obviously something to do with like a rocket man, since there's a little rocket guy at the bottom. But yeah, this is what I'm working on, and yeah, I just figured I'd put up a video to the side to show you like real life how slow it actually is, like how long it actually takes to draw these lines. Like they take mad long. It would take way more than 60 hours to fill up one of these pages. And if you're wondering, this is 18 by 24. But yeah, so I made a set of those, and in college one of my professors really loved them, wanted to buy the whole set. His wife didn't allow him to, which was a bummer, but he got one that I thought was cool. It was the only one that had a circle in it, so that's why I brought that circle back. And I mean, there's other people trying to get these, so that's cool. That's, you know, inspiring. So I'm gonna keep doing these. I love how you guys react to these. I asked someone why do they like these more than my portraits, and they were like, I don't know, it just speaks to me more, and it seems more individualistic, and it allows me to imagine more what it could mean, and it's more of a conversational piece, and that's so true. So, you know, I'm trying to like steer a little bit away from portraits and do either more observational drawings of like buildings in the city, because back in the Caribbean, before I started doing portraits, I used to draw buildings in straight lines a lot. So that's like my background in drawing, I guess. So I'm trying to do that more. I have a few videos of that like has better reaction than other videos, and people seem to like that as well, just to see like the real life. Oh, he can look at a building and actually draw it from across the street. Oh, that's actually sick. So I want to do some of that more, and I want to do these more because it is more of a conversational piece. Like I can go so much about what like time means to me, but that right there is like a whole 4 or 5 day long documentary. So I'm gonna just keep this going, but I just thought I'd give you that real quick, just to let you know what these are about. And the video at the side, like it's not just some arbitrary video, some random video I just picked up and just slapped in. No, that's what I'm working on. But back to this submarine, John.
It's easy to be in awe of aviation and space exploration because breaking free of gravity and flying through the air seem like such a feat. But in many ways, deep sea craft are the much greater engineering challenge. It all comes down to pressure. We don't think about air pressure because at sea level, it's just 14.7 pounds per square inch. That pressure is the result of the column of air that reaches above us all the way into outer space. All those air molecules above us pushing down result in that pressure. But water is a much more dense fluid than air. So for every 10 meters or 32.8 feet you dive, the pressure increases by 1 atmosphere, or 14.7 psi. The Titanic is sitting on the ocean floor at about 12,500 feet below sea level. The two broken parts of the ship, the bow and the stern, are more than 2,600 feet apart and surrounded by debris after over 100 years of being in the bottom of the ocean. The wreckage is 400 miles off the coast of Newfoundland in Canada. You can see here. Let's put this depth into perspective. Imagine laying on your back with a 1 foot by 1 foot.
Hold on, bro. Before we continue, bro. Considering how recent this is a real nice documentary so far. Like, I like the presentation so far. So I'm gonna just give this man a quick
board, okay? And how much weight you would feel on that board. At 100 meters, the size of a soccer or football field, we have the pressure of 10 atmospheres, or 145 psi, which means on that 1 by 1 foot board, we would feel the weight of 20,880 pounds. That is 4.7 Tesla Model Ys. At 381 meters, 1,250 feet, we have the height of the Empire State Building in New York City. At this depth, we would feel 37.4 atmospheres of pressure, and that 1 by 1 foot board would feel the weight of 80,000 pounds. At 490 meters, we have the max dive depth of the C class of US Navy submarine. Here we'd feel 48.5 atmospheres of pressure. That 1 by 1 foot board would feel the weight of 94,800 pounds at 828 meters.
This is why people really gotta be upset, because you telling me the US,
the height of
this US submarine, this how far it's trying to go. This actual submarine, right? That could probably take a torpedo or two, probably, right? And my man's, yo, I'm sorry, RIP to the dead, for real. I'm not trying to laugh at the dead, but this is ridiculously stupid, bro. You trying to go beyond what this like battle class submarine could do in this little John, bro? Bro, you serious, bro? Bro, what?
The Burj Khalifa. Here we'd feel 82 atmospheres. That weight on the board would be 173,520 pounds. Now this is around the same depth as the deepest diving submarine in operation today, the Oscar-class submarine in the Russian Navy. At 3,800 meters sits the wreckage of the Titanic. Here, the pressures are 376 atmospheres. That 1 by 1 foot board on our chest would have the weight of 797,000 pounds. The Oceangate Titan was rated for a mass dive depth of about 4,000 meters. Now that might sound insane, but actually it's not even the record for the deepest human beings have been. That honor goes to James Cameron and the Deep Sea Challenger built in Australia in 2012. The Deep Sea Challenger reached the deepest part of the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean, the deepest point on Earth, at a mind-boggling 11,000 meters or 36,000 feet.
What?
Here, we'd feel 1,090 atmospheres of pressure, and that 1 by 1 foot board would have the weight of 2.3 million pounds on it. Compare that to the difference in pressure of an airplane at cruising altitude of 36,000 feet, where outside, the pressure might be 3 psi, and on the inside, between 10 and 12. And that hopefully puts in perspective why more people have been to space than have been into the deepest parts of our oceans. Now let's talk about the red flags that plagued Oceangate from the get-go. By the way, Oceangate just sounds like a walking scandal ready to happen. First, the design limitations of the Titan required that the hatch...
Facts, yo, that reminds me of Heaven's Gate, bro. Like, I'm sorry, bro. That's just what it reminds me of, bro. Ocean's Gate. Like, what, bro? What is you on, bro? Who come up with that name, bro? Where's your PR team? Like, for real, like, if you come to me for a logo or a company name or some sort of counseling and advice, and you tell me one of the names you're thinking of is Oceangate, I don't know, bro. Real quick, I'm gonna come back to you like, nah, bro. Oceangate? That just sounds too much like Heaven's Gate. I sound like... Unless you could actually justify, like seriously justify why you want that name and why that name makes sense to what it is your company is about. Because Oceangate, what, is that a gateway to the ocean? Is that what you're saying? Like, bro, a gateway to the ocean is a flood. I don't know, bro.
Hatch be bolted down by 17 to 18 bolts from the outside.
That's what this is what I'm talking about right here. You see how that open? And then they bolt it down? What? What? Bro, off the rip, bro. What? Hold on.
About the red flags that plagued Oceangate from the get-go.
Go ahead.
By the way, Oceangate just sounds like a walking scandal ready to happen. First, the design limitations of the Titan required that the hatch be bolted down by 17 to 18 bolts from the outside.
So if anything was to go wrong, can't escape. Where's the design team, bro? Who would do this, bro? Who would do this? Who the hell would do this? You're telling me... Bro, that don't make no sense, bro.
This means there's no way for the passengers
I gotta
inside
say
to
till
open
the
hatch.
end, bro.
They'd have to rely on ground crews to open it. Now, this is understandable because of these deep sea vessels have to be incredibly tight. They have to be very strong. The water seals
but
have
even
to pull,
submarines have the...
But I think this shows you why it's really important to have backup systems,
John
to have
at the
some
top.
sort of an explosive
You feel me?
detonation cord you can pull to blow the hatch in the event that the craft surfaced and no one found it. And that was actually one of the fears early on, is that the vessel could actually surface and be at the surface somewhere along the Atlantic unfound and still die from suffocating because they couldn't open the hatch and the air could run out.
Right.
The Titan also didn't have GPS or other navigational instruments on board.
What?
And it didn't have a locator beacon either, like a black box on an aircraft. Most subs use GPS for...
Nah, you're lying. You lying. You gotta be lying. Oh, poor kid. Poor kid. That kid who, the kid who didn't want to go. Poor kid. Man was right the whole time, bro. That was y'all coffins, bro. Like, what? No GPS, you know.
Surface navigation, which doesn't work in deeper waters. In deeper waters, they use dead reckoning course information obtained by the ship's gyro compass, measured speed, and...
Wait, hold on. He said no GPS because of that?
And it didn't have a locator beacon either, like a black box on an aircraft. Most subs use GPS for near-surface navigation, which doesn't work in deeper waters. In deeper waters, they use dead reckoning...
I just still get it, though. I just still get it. Because, come on, bro, let's not be stupid. I just still get it. What? I just still get the black box. I just still get GPS. Because no matter what you telling me, you're not going to spawn in the deepest depths of the ocean. And you're not going to stay in the deepest depths of the ocean and then spawn on Earth. You got to at some point, you feel me? You got to at some point be in low surface. You got to at some point, bro. So at some point, that instrument will be utilized. It will be valuable. You hear what it is you're going to do, bro? You hear the records that these people trying to attempt? You hear how much for a seat on that shit, bro? $250,000 now. So if I gotta pay $250,000 a seat, I expecting everything, bro. Anything go wrong, I haunting you, bro. What is this? I'm not trying to be facetious, but I haunting you, bro. What is this?
Course information.
This don't make no sense.
Suffocating because they couldn't open the hatch and the air could run out.
That's so stupid.
The Titan...
That's the first flaw, bro. What? If I was making something like this, and I actually did technical drawing and all of that, like I really did want to become an engineer. I still do stuff. I'm working on things that I can't mention other than art, right? So, but they are in the technological space and like utility space. So I do have a mind still wired to that kind of thing. And when I'm designing something, I take a lot of things into consideration. Like I've drawn like pattern designs for other people and myself, right? So, but I don't really, that's not like a main thing, but it's something I do. So when I'm like thinking about that kind of stuff, nah, bro, this is a shame, bro. I would never design something like this, bro. And I'm not, like I said, this is not even something I do. So imagine if this is something that you do. Like, all engineers out there probably furious, bro. Like, this, what? And you convince people to get on this? What? Bro.
It also didn't have GPS or other navigational instruments on board. And it didn't have a locator beacon either, like a black box on an aircraft.
This don't make no sense,
Most
bro.
subs use GPS for near-surface navigation.
What are you gonna tell me? They didn't have a radio
In deeper
too?
waters, they use dead reckoning course information obtained by the ship's gyro compass, measured speed, and estimates of local ocean currents. They also rely on inertial navigation systems, which is an estimated position source utilizing acceleration, deceleration, pitch, and roll from the computers that transmit this data. The Titan, in contrast, appeared to rely only on data provided by the surface support vessel. In 2019, Oceangate published a blog post explaining why the Titan was not certified by any ship authority, which was a huge red flag. Oceangate stated, "The vast majority of marine and aviation accidents are actually a result of operator error, not mechanical failure," and argued that classification focused solely on the physical state of the vessel and not the corporate actions, which are characterized as a constant committed effort and a focused corporate culture of maintaining high-level operational safety.
Wait. So what you're telling me is this man only had surface level equipment?
Position source utilizing acceleration, deceleration, pitch, and roll from the computers.
All right, let me just listen to this without stopping it, guys. Let's get this train of thought right. So let's hear from like here.
The fears early on is that the vessel could actually surface and be at the surface somewhere along the Atlantic unfound and still die from suffocating because they couldn't open the hatch and the air could run out. The Titan also didn't have GPS or other navigational instruments on board, and it didn't have a locator beacon either, like a black box on an aircraft. Most subs use GPS for near-surface navigation, which doesn't work in deeper waters. In deeper waters, they use dead reckoning course information obtained by the ship's gyro compass, measured speed, and estimates of local ocean currents. They also rely on inertial navigation systems, which is an estimated position source utilizing acceleration, deceleration, pitch, and roll from the computers that transmit this data. The Titan, in contrast, appeared to rely only on data provided by the surface support vessel. In 2019, Oceangate published a blog post explaining why the Titan was not certified by any ship authority, which was a huge red flag. Oceangate stated, "The vast majority of marine and aviation accidents are actually a result of operator error, not mechanical failure," and argued that classification focused solely on the physical state of the vessel and not the corporate actions, which are characterized as a constant committed effort and a focused corporate culture of maintaining high-level operational safety.
So what you telling me is, what I'm getting from this is the Titan wasn't even equipped with its own like surface level sensory equipment. It was relaying information from another surface level vessel. So wouldn't the design team in any way think, what if whatever was allowing that relay of information, whether it be a wired connection or a wireless one, what if that connection was interrupted in any way? Like, why wouldn't anyone think of a secondary line of communication, bro? Like, is that what this is saying? Because that's what it sounds like it's saying. It sounds like he's saying it didn't have any of these equipment, and it actually was relying on information that was being relayed to it from a surface level vessel, like the thing that was floating on top.
That sounds like absolute to me. I'm sorry.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Journalist David Progue, who rode on the Titan to view the Titanic in 2022, noted during his expedition, the surface support vessel lost track of the Titan for about 4 to 5 hours and mentioned that adding a locator beacon was actually discussed during this event. They could still send short text to the sub, but they had no idea where it was. It was quiet and very tense, he says, and they shut off the ship's internet to keep us from tweeting. Oh my God, that is terrifying, and they've already known that this could happen. The craft was also controlled by a video game controller, which sounds like some cool Silicon Valley way of thinking, beanbag chairs and break rooms, but it's downright stupid. Military spec products go through incredible rigorous testing, making them safe in all operating environments. For example, as expensive as Apple's Vision Pro headset is at $3,500, it is downright cheap compared to the $400,000 that it costs to get a helmet for the F-35 fighter jet. And the reason why, well, lower volumes, of course, but also because they have to go through unbelievable vibration testing to make sure the wells will all hold up, make sure that the higher levels of radiation at 40 to 50,000 feet won't do any damage long-term, and to make sure absolute reliability. Now let's talk about how we got to the Titan. Oceangate started by purchasing Antipodes, which is a submersible back in 2012, which was their first test bed for testing and learning about this entire endeavor. Next, they built Cyclops 1, which is in collaboration with University of Washington's Applied Physics Laboratory. And this was a deeper sea vessel capable of reaching a max depth of 500 meters. Still nowhere near deep enough for the Titanic, but this was their next step and their next iteration. In the early design, the hull was made of carbon fiber, and the whole submersible would dive vertically with pivoting seats to ensure the passengers remained upright. Now, it was said that Boeing worked with Oceangate and the University of Washington on their initial design analysis, but we'll get back to that in a second, because there's a little bit more to that story.
He
Finally,
said
they would
carbon
arrive at
fiber,
the
you know?
Titan, their final product that would actually be rated for 4,000 meters. One of the key takeaways about the Titan is that this is a carbon fiber and titanium hulled submersible. Now, this is really exotic in the world of materials. We've been using high-strength steel and aluminum for a long time, and we have data, engineering data on how they fail and what to look for and test methodologies. But carbon fiber is still quite exotic. In fact, any car you've ever driven probably doesn't have much carbon fiber in it. The only exceptions are really, really high-end supercars, or even in the case of aviation, more recently with the Boeing Dreamliner. But before that, we've always used aluminum and titanium
but still,
and other materials like that. So just generally, there's less known about it, and it's also really difficult to make sure that you get it right. Oceangate signed a contract with Spencer Composites in January 2017 for the carbon composite cylinder. This was the same company that built the composite pressure hull for the single-person deep flight Challenger for Steve Fossett. After Fossett passed away, Deep Flight Challenger was acquired by Richard Branson's Virgin Oceanic, which had announced plans to conduct a series of 5 dives to the deepest points of the ocean. But Deep Flight refused to endorse the plan, as the craft had been designed to dive only once. This is important, we'll get back to this in a second. In a statement, they said the problem is the strength of the Deep Flight Challenger does decrease after each dive. It's strongest on the first dive, said Adam Wright, the firm's president. It was designed to set the record, dive to the deep, and then be retired as an exhibit in the Smithsonian. This is a really crucial part, because sometimes in engineering, what it comes down to is the operational lifetime and understanding it. And this might have been at play here. And by the way, I tried to go to oceangate.com to get a little bit more information, and I noticed that their site was taken down on June 22nd. So after the disappearance of the Titan in 2023,
I wonder if it's still down. Hold on now. Ooh. Yo, hold on now. Nah, refresh that. Come on now. Come on now. Nah, y'all can't do that to me. Drum roll. I guess it's still down, folks. Oof. Oof.
University of Washington stated that APL, their applied physics laboratory, had no involvement in design, engineering, or testing of the Titan submersible. A Boeing spokesperson also said that Boeing was not a partner on the Titan and did not design or build it. A NASA spokesperson said that NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center had a Space Act agreement with Oceangate, but did not conduct testing and manufacturing via its workforce or facilities. Basically, all of these partnerships that they had are now being revealed that they were not really partnerships. This is a classic example of a company trying to get credibility by partnering with NASA. How good does that sound? But what exactly they did with NASA isn't really well understood. It could have just been as simple as, hey, can we rent out a little bit of space over in this corner of your facility? This is probably the most infuriating for me as an engineer. David Lockridge, the Oceangate Director of Marine Operations, filed a quality control report in January 2018, stating that no non-destructive testing, or NDI, of the carbon fiber hull had taken place to check for voids or delaminations in the carbon fiber layup that could compromise the hull strength. NDI, non-destructive investigation, NDT, non-destructive testing, is a way of checking something to make sure that it's safe without actually breaking it apart. Because really the best way to check if something is safe is to cut it in half, break it, and go, yep, it's safe. But of course, you've destroyed the product. So NDT is something that engineers lean on all the time to make sure things are safe. And in the world of carbon fiber, it's that much more difficult, because carbon fiber doesn't bend or yield or get grooves and cracks the way other materials do. It requires a lot of information and insight. Lockridge was told that Oceangate would rely on the real-time acoustic monitoring system, which he felt would not warn the crew of potential failure with sufficient time to safely abort the mission. And
bro, I still don't understand why they use a why they use a controller, bro. Why they use a PlayStation controller, bro. I do not understand. Why did they do that? And then just have one screen. This guy was like literally just building a game, right? Like, right? What am I looking at, bro? Bro, what am I looking at, bro? I would have been so scared, bro. So scared. Bro, I'd have been scared, bro. Clapping. My cheeks would have been clapping, bro. What?
And
Pause.
The day after he filed his
I would've
report,
been
he was
scared.
summoned to a meeting in which he was told the acrylic window that you look out of was only rated for 1,300 meters.
The acrylic window. Yo, bro. Bro, you understand how deep they're trying to go? You have the pressure of all the air in the world, right? Multiply that by however many he said, bro. Like what, 28? Or 14? Or we got past 14? Bro, like, I don't understand, bro. That's mad pressure, bro. Who did this, bro? Bro, they should all be fired, bro. Like, every person who took a part of this and didn't say nothing, bro, they all got some explaining to do, bro, because this should have been stopped at so many steps along the way. This don't make no sense.
Because Oceangate would not fund the design of a window rated for 4,000 meters. In that meeting, he reiterated his concerns and added that he would refuse to allow crude testing without a hull scan. Lockridge was dismissed from his position as a result. Oceangate filed a lawsuit against Lockridge that June, accusing him of improperly sharing proprietary trade secrets and fraudulently manufacturing a reason to get rid of him. This suit was settled in November 2018. I'm sure it was all sealed off and we'll never...
Hey, yo, Lockridge, bro, you might have been tight at the time, but it's a good thing they let you go, bro. You ain't a part of this shenanigan, this madness. So, blessing in disguise for you, I guess. And at least now people know you was right. And you tried to warn them. You tried to say something. And you lost your job for it. That's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
I don't know exactly what was agreed upon,
Absolutely
but that
insane.
is absolutely terrifying. During a human-piloted descent on December 10th, 2018, Stockton Rush used the vertical thrusters to overcome unexpected positive buoyancy when descending past 10,000 feet. These submersibles are like a balloon with air inside, right? So it's hard for them to dive. And so they have different ways and ballast systems to be able to accomplish that. But for whatever reason, around 10,000 feet, he had to use vertical thrusters to continue his descent. And when this happened, it caused interference with the communication systems between spinning.
What I tell you, what I say, of course there's gonna be something that would interfere. There's electrical interference. You turn on the motors. That's probably what he's gonna say just now. The electrical interference. Not just that, you got the propellers spinning in the water, like that current that the water creates, or current being movement. Water already is a thing that interferes with frequencies. Moving water will do so even more. Bro, there's just too many, like, and I'm no pro at this, and I can see there's too many spots where this just wouldn't make sense, bro. I wouldn't make this for my physics, like, project in grade 5 or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't, this don't make no sense, bro.
Propellers, the disturbance in the wake of the water coming off those propellers and everything else, they lost contact for 1 hour. Now, Rush was thrilled to call himself the second person to solo dive to 13,000 feet after James Cameron. But if that was me, I would be terrified. I would come back and figure out what on earth happened with the comms and what can we do? Can we change the frequency? Can we have a backup system? Can we have a tether? Whatever has to happen to never let that happen again. And we know it happened again because of that report from the reporter. After these tests were completed in January 2020, the hull of the Titan began showing signs of cyclical fatigue, and the craft was derated to 3,000 meters. Now, the hull was repaired and again rated again for 4,000 meters of diving depth, but by who? And was everything done properly? It's impossible to know. I decided to make this video because I think we're at the precipice of a new age of exotic tourism and exploration. between going to the space to go to the moon, low Earth orbit, or deep sea diving. We're at the edge of seeing more of this. Wealthier people, the people that were involved in this particular incident, always want to have that next thing. And so if we're going to do this, it's important to realize just how unsafe this can be. Unlike commercial aviation, there are no regulatory boards involved here. This is international water. The company did have to register the parent vessel that takes people from Canada, right? So that had to be registered. But what happens out in open waters is not very highly regulated. This is a really tough story for me because as an engineer, I do love ambition. I mean, building your own vessel, carbon fiber 5 inches thick, it sounds cool. But as an engineer, I also realize how important safety measures and protocols are. Aviation is a perfect example. If you ever hop on an airplane, you cannot imagine how safe you are because of all the people involved, from company members like Boeing and Airbus personnel, engineering test officials, all the way to the FAA and other regulatory approval bodies that make sure every little thing is regulated and controlled. There is none of that going on here. One of the first things to realize about an implosion of the vessel is that there was probably not a lot of suffering. The people probably just died instantly. We mentioned how much weight you would feel at these depths, and you would pretty much just get crushed. So what happened is they built a vessel which was in and of itself pretty impressive. The carbon fiber layup, the composite structure, titanium. This was an exotic craft, and it had a viewing window to go see the Titanic. These are things that human beings could not do before. But the problem is every craft, every vessel, every engineering device has an operational lifetime. Now, the way engineers do this is by testing something and figuring out how many cycles can we hit this with before problems start to emerge. And then they add a safety factor. For example, your car will work almost forever. There's no pressure involved. It's just atmospheric pressures at sea level, right? Now, if it rusts and things, that could change the equation. But your car is fine. How about aircraft? Aircraft are pressurized and depressurized, pressurized, depressurized, right? And you can't really inspect every little nook and cranny. So what engineers figured out is if we're going to build this out of aluminum, if we're going to build it from carbon fiber, we have to do a test every 1,000 hours, 500 hours, whatever the case might be. A complete overhaul where they tear down the wall panels and inspect, and they'll actually get out and check for any cracks and other impurities and imperfections, because any crack or any little divot can be a stress concentration point where it'll start to impound and fail. Then finally they'll say at this many hours, 20,000 flat hours, whatever the number might be, the aircraft is retired. That doesn't mean it's going to fall apart, but we know we tested it for millions of hours and nothing bad will happen in this window. And that is the operational window. Odds are a plane could probably fly for thousands more flights after that, but we don't want to do that. That is the operational lifetime. What was the operational lifetime of the Titan? Was it ever established? They were not doing NDIs or NDTs, non-destructive testing, to see what was happening to the carbon fiber. Again, carbon fiber is a mesh weave that is laid in alternating patterns and then glued up. It is incredibly strong and incredibly impressive as an engineering material, but it's equally not as well studied. We have 100 years of history and experience with high strength steel and aluminum and other materials, but this is a new frontier. And that's why this is so important to cover. New frontiers are exciting. They're sexy, they're glamorous, right? Air travel. We're on the brink of space tourism where rich people can buy a ticket to go up and tour around the moon, have a nice little...
That's crazy you said that, because I'm gonna just plug this in. I made a painting one time in college, right? It was all white and it took me weeks to dot out all these black stars to make like a galaxy, and within the galaxy I had 50% off, and no one really got what the painting meant, and I was trying to explain that one day a trip to space is gonna be half off, and still all the other artists and all the other kids were like but my professor, she's actually a well-known American artist, Donna Nelson. At the time, she was extremely impressed. She loved me, actually. I love Donna. She was awesome. And yeah, I just wanted to plug that in real quick because I've been seeing this coming, bro. Like this exotic exploration that he so rightfully calls it, it's definitely coming. Like, if not, definitely in my time. in my lifetime, yeah, my children might be doing this. Like the same way how everyone knows about spring break. Oh, let's go spring break one day, boom, 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 whatever. When it's our time, whatever. There might be a new time or a new season or window of going to space when for just like this 2 weeks all the high schools or all the colleges or planet Earth might have a new vacation, because some, like some countries, some nations have like nationwide holidays, right, where they last days, maybe a whole week. So maybe one day we will have a planet-wide holiday, not like Christmas or nothing where that comes down to belief systems, but I mean something everyone on planet Earth celebrates. And maybe during that time a ticket to space may have a discount. Like, we live in very fascinating times, but then we have crazy things going on. And I mean, this is the frontier of it. There's always going to be mistakes, there's always going to be errors, but I feel like the human race has been around long enough where we should have common sense. I remember mentioning common sense to someone in college, and she told me there's no such thing as common sense, because how can you say that what's common to you may not be common to someone else? And I guess you could say that. But there is something as common sense. No one sticks their hand in fire because everyone knows it burns. That's common sense. Common sense by now should be look before you leap, right? And at this level, they should have never jumped into this. This is madness. Granted, once again, this is like the beginning of something. He's pioneering something, but he just totally lost his life and the life of others for something that if they took a little bit longer to just dive into the actual structure of the thing, and if it would actually work on a fourth dive, and yeah, I don't know. But let's wrap this up, and then I'm gonna go into some other videos that I've been thinking about that relates to this actually.
Little catered lunch and come home. Whenever we have new frontiers, we have unknowns. That's what makes it a frontier. There's not a playbook. And when you have to build vessels able to withstand the pressures of the ocean's deep, deep waters, there's a lot that is unknown. And that's why we don't have commercial versions of this. I think this vessel just had some sort of a crumple or some defect or deformation. Something was happening over a couple of cycles. I mean, they did successfully go down and come back three times, and at that fourth time they crumpled. Honestly, I don't think any vessel that goes to the Mariana Trench or 12,000 feet in the Atlantic should have a life more than a couple of cycles. And I think what they were trying to do, I think Stockton Rush was trying to make these tickets affordable, right? Now, they started at $125,000, double that by the time these guys went on at $250,000. Right, $250,000 sounds like a ton of money. The real price for this probably should have been $1 million, 1.5. That allows you to replace the vessel every so often, or to do complete disruptive testing to replace parts. There's a whole slew of things that have to happen. But I think in the interest of trying to be affordable, being on the ship yourself, the prestige of your reputation, trying to build a brand, trying to build a company, they took all kinds of shortcuts and did things they do not understand. And I'll be honest with you, we know more about space than we do our deep oceans or the deep earth. These are just really, really hard environments to get to. This is tragic. I was an optimist. I was hoping that we would find them somewhere and that this would all kind of be a learning lesson without loss of life. It didn't work out that way. But in engineering, we have to always learn from our mistakes. If you're a believer in freedom and these people took the risk, they knew what they were doing, I do agree with that. I'm a believer of freedom and taking your own risk or taking your own choices. But did they fully understand what this vessel was? Was it fully known? Were the risks really well known to them? Probably not.
I don't think so.
So those are
man.
things that we can try to improve upon. And maybe the next time somebody comes up with this idea to do deep ocean exploration, there's better methodology in place. And I would imagine it's going to get much more expensive.
During the time, when did this happen? This happened June 18, right? Bro, like mad things apparently happened this week that this one submarine seemed to overshadow, right? So I'm gonna just look this up first, right? This one right here. This is supposed to be the first thing that happened this week. The Jeffrey Epstein emails or whatever were supposed to be released.
A shocking new report in the Jeffrey Epstein saga reveals the convicted sex offender paid the college tuition of the kids of the former Virgin Islands First Lady, Cecile de Jong. This is according to court filings from JP Morgan. What's more, that same year, she consulted him on changes to a sex offender registration law.
This all comes as JP Morgan accused by the Virgin Islands.
Or that same year, she consulted him on changes to a sex offender registration law.
This all comes as JP Morgan accused by the Virgin Islands of facilitating Epstein's alleged crimes. Additionally, there's some very interesting reporting. Stacey Plaskett, who's the delegate for the Virgin Islands to U.S. Congress, if her name is reminiscent to you, viewers who are hearing this, that's because she was the one who really grilled Schellenberger and Taibbi when
so-called journalists.
Yeah. Then she subsequently sent that letter when one of the acronyms had been flipped, and it didn't really fundamentally change anything about the Twitter files, but saying that, because you perjured yourself, that's a crime and you could face 5 years in jail, that kind of thing. Taking this really weird posturing on the information the Twitter files had uncovered. Mm-hmm. So I'm not exactly a fan of what she was going for there, but she is the delegate for the Virgin Islands. This also comes from the JP Morgan filings that in 2018, she was doing a campaign fundraiser, and she asked for Jeffrey Epstein to get an invitation. If you'd like to share this invitation with Jeffrey, I'd be much appreciative. I would be grateful for his support and the support of those he may direct to assist me. This is in July of 2018. We just looked this up. He was arrested about a year after that, in July of 2019. He then died or something in prison shortly thereafter. So this is not, we have criticized Bill Gates type people for still being associates of Jeffrey Epstein, like a full, we have criticized Bill Gates, then died or this up. He was arrested about a year after that, in July of 2019. He then died or something in prison shortly thereafter. So this is not, we have criticized Bill Gates type people for still being associates of Jeffrey Epstein like a full decade before that.
Right.
This is at the point where Jeffrey Epstein is I think on his way to becoming a household name for sex crimes against underage people. And she is hitting him up for money. She is proactive. It's not even that he showed up and then offered her money. She proactively says, make sure he comes to my fundraiser. Yeah. At a time where not only should she have known, but everyone knows. That's crazy.
I think it's not a good look. Now, she says that she subsequently donated those donations to various charities and didn't hold on to the money. I do think, to your point, the fact of her willingness not to take money from him, but also just solicit money from him many years, a decade after he was first arrested and did time for sex crimes, is questionable in and of itself, particularly from someone who has, chosen to mount a moral high horse from time to time with respect to legitimate journalism, the likes of which Matt Taibbi and the rest were doing.
This is connections to Epstein that are so much more recent. I want to underscore this, so much more recent than any of the other people that we have criticized for having ties to Epstein. The college president, Bill Gates, the Clintons, Noam Chomsky, all of that was not nearly as recent as this.
Yeah.
This was a year before he dies in prison.
Yeah, I mean, this is painting a picture of the influence that Epstein had on this particular island.
Can you
and how
tell
he was
he's
willing to potentially
disgusted?
even bend its laws in an advantageous way for him. The idea that he would be consulted, again, after he had already been convicted of some sex crimes back in the early aughts, on who qualifies for a sex offender registry. The idea, the first lady, he didn't just pay the kids' college tuition. The former first lady was also on his payroll, receiving a salary, bonuses, and other benefits, including $200,000 in 2007 alone. It feels like the man was kind of shadow puppeting the goings on this entire island. And so there's this question of the way that JP Morgan obviously is benefiting from turning the other way and handling his financial transactions in furtherance of his crimes, but also the way this entire government seems to be influenced right up to the level of Stacey Plaskett by this man's incredible reach and financial power, and as we saw in the case of Bill Gates, some of this sort of blackmailing power.
Yeah, this is horrifying. Both of these stories together suggest a very concerning level of influence he would have under the goings-on, the policies on that island. I mean, this is beyond.
So they talking about what I heard about. So basically, during the same week that this when this document come out, the same week, June 23rd actually. So that was the Friday. That the submarine was missing. But see, here's the crazy thing, because I heard something else, right? And the guy kind of said it in the previous video. If an implosion would have happened, they would have died instantly under all that pressure. And I heard somewhere, I don't know how true this is, that it was known since Sunday that the implosion happened. Like, the implosion happened on Sunday and it was known since then. But I don't know how true it is. I don't know if we'll come across anything like backing that up. Maybe I'm wrong for even mentioning it without even finding proof first. But that's just what I heard, and that's some of the stuff that got me into looking into, yo, like, what? So this is true. This part is true. Some information came out with Epstein. We just heard that there.
And
This
I
is what
think
they're
it's
talking about here.
interesting and to call out the hypocrisy of wealthy people, and they should have known better, and what are they doing? You know, all the people we've criticized for having close ties to him. Now he's dictating a policy that there's good evidence that he himself would like to abuse, and having massive financial influence over that, over the island's government and representatives. You know, this being kind of a far off place that is not, you know, that I could see. It's easier to imagine a very influential, powerful, wealthy person taking over, having to have tremendous sway,
More influence, bigger fish in a
without,
smaller
because it's
ponds.
not, it's far flung. Its relationship to the rest of the U.S. is distant. It does. I mean, Stacey Plaskett is the delegate. She's not technically even a member of Congress. It's more disconnected from federal control. And it's his little fiefdom, and he has everyone in his pocket, including the delegate and the first lady.
And listen to this: the Wall Street Journal reported, based on these published documents that came out on Thursday, that were filed.
So before she brings up her point, what I'm gathering from him is this information reveals not just that he was, well, basically it ties in so that through this lady, he was probably looking to govern, change, manipulate, or be a part of laws concerning you know, that kind of stuff. The kind of stuff he was accused for being involved in. So that's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts.
Late Wednesday, the Wall Street Journal reported this on Thursday, that De Jong also helped get visas for several alleged victims of Epstein. This is from the JP Morgan filings. She connected one woman to a local immigration lawyer and worked to get others student visas by arranging special classes for them at the University of the Virgin Islands. This is according to the bank. Some victims were enrolled in ESL English as second language courses. The email in the filings had her saying, they're structuring the class around the ladies. Please let me know so that they know what to do or not to do. This is her writing to Epstein back in 2013. The cost of the course were $8,000, $8,868, and that she would be covering. This is nuts.
Yeah.
A troop of young women, facilitating them come into the country, their visa work, putting them, like setting them up at a university. I mean, it's hard not to see that as working overtime to provide cover, institutional cover, structural cover for Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes. These are for.
That's like using the system, because these are legitimate ways that you're getting people in, and it's like historical logs of all the right things. It's like laundry. It's literally like laundry. Like you're washing money. Like you take money and you file it through, you know what I mean? And boom, now you got clean money. It's the same thing. Yo, they should lock her up. They should lock her up. That woman is guilty, bro. Well, if it's true. But hey, yo.
For people who were ultimately alleged victims of his.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's just really bad. It makes me glad this lawsuit is going forward. There's clearly a lot that's in the public interest to learn about his dealings through this manner, but the entire government, JP Morgan, with respect specifically to the situation in the Virgin Islands, seems very corrupt and actively dangerous to young women.
Yeah. Now, it's worth noting that apparently, so you heard me say that some of those disclosures, it's coming out of JP Morgan's testimony. The accusation from the Virgin Islands is, the prosecutors, is that he's trying to deflect attention from the JP Morgan, the bank is trying to deflect blame from their own role in this. I think it's worth noting for the general public, however, that there's a lot of blame to go around, and simply because there were these political figures in the Virgin Islands who were also facilitating Jeffrey Epstein's crimes allegedly, it doesn't mean that JP Morgan isn't off the hook. It's also worth noting that DeJong has not commented on any of these allegations, but that, as we mentioned, Stacey Plaskett has saying, as I've stated in the past, contributions made by Jeffrey Epstein to my campaign were donated to women and children-focused nonprofits in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, but by 2018, there is no excuse under the sun to not know exactly who Jeffrey, and obviously she knows exactly who he is, because she knows, he didn't just show up. She knows he's a wealthy, influential person involved with the Virgin Islands, right? It's not China or India. There's not like a billion people on it. She knows who he is. She knows he can give him a lot of money. She was perfectly happy to solicit that. Again, in 2018, just before he goes to prison again for sex crimes against children. Astonishing,
yeah, yo, I'm gonna let you finish that. Astonishing facts. That's crazy. So that happened, right? And then there's another thing that supposedly happened the same week. A bunch of immigrants, about 500 of them, and they're still missing.
Carrying hundreds of migrants, which sank off the coast of Greece on Wednesday. The overloaded vessel sank in one.
Did you hear about this? Remember now, the implosion supposedly happened on Sunday. The media talked about it the entire week. We just saw Jeffrey Epstein. That was Friday. I ain't hear about that nowhere else. This happened Wednesday. Wednesday when? Let's find out. June 14th. The search was called off on June 19th. Only 78 bodies were recovered. That's crazy, yo. The sinking is the second deadliest shipwreck in the Mediterranean Sea in recent years. The deadliest shipwreck occurred in April 15th when a boat carrying an estimated 800 migrants capsized off the coast of Libya. Only 28 people survived. The sinking of the migrant boat is a tragedy that highlights the dangers faced by people who attempt to cross the Mediterranean Sea in search of a better life. The International Organization of Migration, IOM, estimates that more than 21,000 people have died or disappeared in the Mediterranean Sea since 2014. That's crazy, yo. But this happened June 14th. The Oceangate implosion was June 19th, cuz, bro, 5 days, a whole week earlier, and I ain't hear nothing about this since the other day, bro, or until the other day, nothing. Did you hear anything about this? This was 5 people, bro, and you see the documentary we just watched, you see that little video we just watched. 5 very wealthy people went on a clearly ridiculously designed device, like a clear trap, bro. They went on a clear trap, bro. And why? For the pleasures of, what's my purpose of this video? To point this out, right? The pleasures of the riches, bro, like the fortunate. You going in search of a view of the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. Boy, you ain't got nothing better to do. You feel me? I'm sorry, but like here's what we getting into. We get into the meat of the topic, right? Because this one really did hurt my soul. This one right here hurt my soul, guys. And the whole world is talking about this. And it's had one guy who is pretty much a con man who led these 4 people to their deaths. Right? Because you can't tell me he didn't know what was going on. And if they had so many things in the past leading up to this, you can't tell me my mans did not know what was going on. Right? Now you have an estimated 500 people in search of a better life, bro. They just want a better life, bro. That's all they want, bro. They doing anything to get a better life. You feel me? Apparently they had to pay the pirates or the smugglers, whatever you would call these people, just the same, you know, they paid to end up on a vessel where they ultimately died on. But like these 500 people trying to make it, bro, they trying to get out of war-torn areas and poverty and just go somewhere where they could eat, where they could sleep in peace, where they could watch their children grow up, where they could have a chance of having children. They passed. Only 78 of them survived. Check it real quick. I know I could work this out, but let's just do that real quick. 15.6%, bro. Oh, it's telling you how to do it. I know how to do it. You quicker. Anyways, 15.6%. You feel me? Of people made it out of that. And nobody's talking about it. Hardly anybody talk about it. So let's see what this video got to say. Look, that last video, top video on YouTube for that John. It was 20 minutes long. The top video on this is 3 minutes. There's gotta be
Terrible disaster.
78
1
people
minute?
are confirmed to have died, but up to 500 remain unaccounted for. The Greek authorities
Wait, hold on, what'd she
haven't
say?
survivors nor recovered more bodies from the boat carrying hundreds of migrants, which sank off the coast of Greece on Wednesday. The overloaded vessel sank in one of the deepest parts of the Mediterranean Sea. 78 people are confirmed to have died, but up to 500 remain unaccounted for.
I thought the 78 survived. Hold on, I misread that. What did it say? It said... I definitely misread that then. Oh, it's up here. Only 78 bodies were recovered. Man, that's tragic, bro. I guess this 15.6 don't mean nothing. Damn, that's tragic.
Greek authorities are facing mounting questions about whether more could have been done to prevent the disaster.
Yeah, like how that
Suspected
happened? When they
smugglers have been arrested. Louisa Pilbeam reports.
Oh, jeez.
This new footage is said to show the boat in the hours before it sank. You can just make out how crowded it is on board. BBC Verify has determined that this video was filmed this week and that the shape of the vessel and the weather match the known details of this tragedy. Hope is all but gone for the hundreds still missing. Qassem Abouseid is waiting for news of his 21-year-old wife Ezra, who risked the journey with people smugglers after she was denied a visa to travel to Germany to live with him.
Oh no.
She had been staying in a refugee camp in Jordan and was on board the boat with her 19-year-old brother. Qassem's friend Mahmoud spoke to the BBC.
There is no hope to find them alive. If the Coast Guard found them, they will find them dead. We are just waiting for the bodies.
Oh no.
Those who were rescued are being looked after here in the port of Kalamata. Just over 100 people were able to be saved.
There are no women here. All the women died, drowned, with their children in their arms. It is a tragedy. It is unbelievable.
Oh,
And
jeez.
questions continue about the response to the disaster.
That's so sad.
Here one survivor tells the opposition leader Alexis Tsipras that the vessel sank after the Greek Coast Guard tried to tow it. Another man rescued gave a similar story. So what do we now know about what happened? At 11 a.m. on Tuesday, the Greek authorities first make contact with the fishing vessel and say those on board didn't want their help. But a few hours later, according to this email we've obtained, the Coast Guard are warned by an unofficial hotline for migrants in trouble that 750 people, including women and children, are on board and urgently asking for help. Originally, the Coast Guard said that on Tuesday evening it did travel towards the migrant boat, remained at a distance, and discreetly observed that there was no problem in its navigation. But yesterday, a government spokesman confirmed that Coast Guards had tried to get on board the boat. They used a rope to get closer and see if people wanted help. The spokesman denied any attempt had been made to tow the ship and that the Coast Guard didn't cause the boat to sink.
What? Whoa, yo, this turns out to be a way bigger story than I thought, bro. What?
Those who survived have been arriving at a migrant camp outside Athens. Greece's caretaker prime minister promised a thorough investigation into what caused the boat to sink and so many people to die.
Bro, pure madman thing going on in the world today. And then the next thing I heard that went on that same week just so happens to be this, actually.
First, though, we're going to start in Russia after those extraordinary events over the weekend. In the last half an hour or so, we've been told to expect statements from Vladimir Putin. That information coming from various news agencies. We'll keep across that for you if and when he does speak. We'll, of course, bring them to you. We have, however, already heard from the head of the Wagner Group, Yevgeny Prigozhin. Now, in his statements he made in an audio message, he shed some light on what happened over the weekend. His aim, he says, wasn't to overthrow the government when he took his mercenary soldiers up through Russia. He does admit shooting down Russian jets in retaliation, he claims, for airstrikes against his soldiers. Our Russia editor, Steve Rosenberg, reports now from Moscow.
After a weekend of high drama, there was no sense of victory in the Russian capital. The mutiny had failed, but what next for President Putin? And what would the Russian authorities tell the Russian people about what had happened? Vladimir Putin said nothing today about the mutiny. He was shown discussing engineers. It's not clear when this was recorded. But Yevgeny Prigozhin, head of the Wagner mercenaries, who hasn't been seen in public since Saturday, did talk today about his rebellion. In an audio message, he claimed his fighters hadn't wanted to overthrow Russia's government. It had been a protest, he said, a way of avoiding the destruction of the Wagner Group. Russian officials have denounced Mr. Prigozhin as a traitor, but Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin also blamed the West for what had happened. Russia, he said, had faced a challenge to its stability. We need to rally around the president.
Yo, I guess
State TV was on message. The presenter claims that Russians had united to support Vladimir Putin and denounce treachery. Our enemies were in ecstasy during the mutiny, she said. The traitor Yevgeny Prigozhin did a good job for Western propaganda. But at the newspaper kiosk, I discovered a different reaction. In the dailies, it was less blame the West and much more, where is Russia heading? Russian newspapers are really interesting on this today. Even though the media landscape here is heavily controlled by the state, some of the papers are saying things the Kremlin isn't. For example, this paper says that with the mutiny, Russia has demonstrated its vulnerability.
Bro, how you reading that, bro? you see why? I don't know if any of you watching this ever listen to any of my podcasts, but I'm always talking about like dyslexia, because I personally suffer from that, and like I don't know, I just never understood letters. Like it just don't make sense to me, because numbers, you could show me numbers, I can count 1, 2, 3 on my hand. You could go out there, you could take 10 pebbles, you could remove 3 of them, and I'll be left with 7 pebbles. You can show me that. You can't show me words. So who's to say you could assign this, that, and the third, whatever, to any formation of letters, any arrangement of lines to get this thing here? What's this? An N? What's this? What's this? But there's an N. There's a backwards N. What's this? I mean, obviously it's a different language, but it just... letters, man. Words, man. It's just insane to me. What is all of this?
The world and to itself. And this paper calls what Mr. Prigozhin has done an unprecedented challenge to Vladimir Putin. It says it will have long-term consequences for Russia. Events seem to take
That's a beautiful building.
Surprise. Did 2 decades in power make Vladimir Putin too confident?
After 23 years, I mean, you do lose your sense of reality. In a giant country like this, when everything is in the center and everybody is doing everything at your whim, you would be incredibly great person not to lose your marbles this way.
He's under pressure, but don't write off Vladimir Putin. One thing he's learned since coming to power is how to stay there. Steve Rosenberg, BBC News, Moscow.
And in just a moment, we'll hear from our Eastern Europe correspondent, Sarah Rainsford. First, though, let's get the latest from our international editor, Jeremy Bowen, who's in Kyiv.
Nah, it's cool, bro. I don't know if you're going to talk about this the whole way, but I just wanted to show you guys that, you know, what it is that really happened. Do anybody know the truth about this submarine implosion? Was that really it, you know? And is it really covering up all this other stuff? Because So many different things happened in that same week that you would expect to hear about. You would expect more people to be talking about. And when you place all of them together and you just like try to look at them in the grand scheme of things, here you have a few people who chose to go on a trip and it worked out bad. Then you have a few people, not a few, hundreds of people trying to make a better life, and that went bad. Then you have the release of information that proves or at least suggests that this Jeffrey Epstein thing that was going on still goes even further than we knew. And then you have a mutiny attempt out in Russia who's having war with Ukraine, so they're having like, this is probably the beginning of uprising within them, you know what I mean, like internal wars, internal battles, and all these global things going on. Look, there's more stuff. China, bro. China floods, bro. I have a friend in China and we talk somewhat often, or at this point in time we were talking somewhat often, and then they just vanished. Like, they have not replied to me in a month. Like, just gone. Like, the conversation just, they're gone. They haven't posted nothing since. They have not been on Instagram since. And then I come to find out that there was a strain of COVID, a new strain of COVID in China or whatever. And then you got, let's see, we got this now. Bro, crazy, bro. This can't be real. So before it even go again, bro, I'm gonna just bring it back. Like, so many other things are going on in the world that hardly anybody's talking about, and all you're hearing about is Oceangate. But there's a lot more going on, guys. We just gotta, I don't know, keep our ears open, I guess. I should be drawing right now, though. I've been sitting down here too long. This can't be all the same footage from recently, bro. Is it?
As China enters the summer, extreme weather ravages the nation, hitting many provinces with tornadoes, torrential rains, thunderstorms, dust storms, and hailstorms, leaving streets swamped, homes and vehicles inundated, rainwater pouring into shopping malls and subway stations, and crops smashed by hailstones.
June 19th, bro. That's the same day. That's the same day. There's my calendar over here. June 19th. That was the Monday. Father's Day was the Sunday. Apparently they knew about the implosion the Sunday, but like I said, I didn't find any information to support that. But when you Google, when we use Bard, Google's AI, it said the 19th, which is the Monday, right? And this is the 19th. Bro, crazy, bro. And if all of this actually happening, I could understand why my friend not able to communicate. Their world probably in chaos right now, bro. This is China right now, bro. This was like 2 weeks ago. Not even 2 weeks ago. Bro, what?
Or flooded.
Bro, what? You guys seeing this? Look at all that.
Scary. It's like driving a boat.
Yeah, no shit. Bro, no way, bro. And this isn't like isolated to one part. This is like all of China, bro.
My goodness, look at the rain. Look at the sky. I've never seen such heavy rain before. Do you see this?
Bro, what? Once you hear the wind hollering like that, bro, you know it's serious, bro. June 18th, bro. This is Sunday, bro. That whole week, all of this was going on. And this is when the flood came back. Like it was happening before. Bro, what? Nah.
It's June 17th and I'm in Dunhuang. This is the biggest sandstorm I've ever encountered. The sand is blocking the sun. It's 6:20 p.m. The wind is particularly strong. Take a look at my surroundings.
A sandstorm too? Bro, what?
You can't go anywhere in this kind of weather. I can only hide indoors and close all the windows. Otherwise, it's all sand.
Bro, what is going on?
Wow, can you imagine this is now 6 p.m. in Dunhuang? It's covered by sandstorms. It doesn't get dark until about 10 p.m. usually, but now the visibility is very, very low. Oh my gosh, it looks all orange and yellow.
Bro, why is nobody talking about this kind of stuff, bro?
This is the sewage project of China's first-tier city, Shenzhen. It cost 10 billion yuan, but it seems like a faked project. That's why the city of Shenzhen will flood when it rains.
Bro, no way.
Alas, my goodness.
June 10th, bro. Bro, they going through it, bro. Bro, what?
On June 7th, a severe hailstorm occurred in many counties and villages in Jilin province.
Hold on, cuz. Hold on. Bro, you see this down here, bro? Over here, a few days ago, June 18th, June 17th, it was like rain, storm, flood. Down here, sandstorm. Now you telling me hail, bro? Bro, you see what I'm talking about? Like, this is not no normal flood, bro. This is not no normal natural disaster. China, obviously this guy is going backwards, but we already went through heavy rains causing floods, sandstorms. My brother is actually in Jordan right now. He's deployed in Jordan, and Jordan is not too far from here, I don't think. And he went through a sandstorm a few weeks ago. It's obvious it's not the same because I know it happened before this. It wasn't June 18th or June 10th or whatever. But they're going through sandstorms. Now we seeing hail, bro. Bro, do you understand the difference in temperatures in order for you to get hail, bro? And a sandstorm? And then a rainstorm?
On June 7th, a severe hailstorm occurred in many counties and villages in Jilin province. It took away the peasants' hopes for the year. Natural disasters, one after another, have left these peasants with no return on their expensive investments.
So the rest of the year done for. Hail, bro? Bro, no, bro. Bro, the whole world is gonna suffer from this, bro. Like, this madness. I'm gonna just throw this in here. If you're still watching, yo, great, thank you. But like, honestly, I believe, cause I be thinking about some of these conspiracies, and I really believe that like places like HARP, weather machines, earthquake machines, I think all of that is real. Nikola Tesla made the earthquake machine prototype over 100 years ago. Look it up, find out about it. And coming from the Caribbean, I was living in Trinidad when Haiti got that one earthquake, and I remember the things people were saying, you know what I mean? Some of the people from Haiti were saying that they heard like a sonic boom before the earthquake hit. Haiti and Trinidad are on the same tectonic plate, so if a natural earthquake took place on Haiti, a lot of people in Trinidad at the time were speculating that they were also going to get hit. Never got hit. Years later, after diving a little deeper into this stuff, I've come across things that say, should the earthquake machine be real based on how it would operate, any other country on the same tectonic plate would not get hit. So like, I look at all these things, I don't know if these things are just conspiracies, if there's truths behind them. I think there's truths behind them, and I personally believe that because, or I believe that there's truth behind them because when I was a kid, like when I was like 11 maybe, I remember looking at my mom and I was asking my mother, yo, why don't we, because I came home from physics that day. And in physics class, I learned about how we could synthesize or how we could make water, like H2O, you know what I mean? And how you can ionize certain like particles and you could basically create water if you're thinking how I was thinking at the time, right? And my mother picked me up from school, or I went, whatever. And I asked her that day, I was like, Mommy, if we can do this, because I learned this in physics today, why don't people in the desert try to ionize the clouds and make clouds in the sky form water? I was like 11, bro. And she told me that this is not the first time she's heard that, and that the Prime Minister in Jamaica years ago was trying to research something about that. So I know that that concept has been out. Like, I thought of it, asked my mom, she told me about other people who thought of it. So it's a thing. I've even heard about people in the wealthiest parts of the desert who pay mad money to make it rain on weekends, like to make it literally rain, and it costs like millions of dollars, right? So I think some of the stuff's that been happening in the space of global warming is really the repercussions of mankind messing with weather. Because think about it, in this world that we live in where money seems to rule everything, imagine if you could control the weather. Just imagine how wealthy that would be, or how wealthy that would make you. Imagine. Just imagine. You don't need war. You don't need war no more. You don't need war no more. If you could control the weather, you have the greatest device on earth, bro. Trust me, bro. What? 2 million a day. I was supposed to say 2 million a month. 2 million a day for you to get a normal sunny summer. Or you gotta side with our cause to get normal weather all year round. You say anything stupid about our government, watch what we do to you. Imagine that power, bro. Imagine that power, bro. What? You could wipe any nation off the earth if you could control the weather. Look at this. Destroy their food. You hearing this, bro? Look at this, bro. You hearing this? From hail to sandstorm to floods, bro. Like, of course it's not gonna have no vegetation. And these people don't just supply vegetation to China alone. You know what I mean? Bro, I still got things that say made in China. Shit. But you know what's crazy now that I'm thinking about this? China and all those other and a bunch of other nations right now are looking to step away from the US dollar, right? And then they also went ahead, China went ahead and bought the like a large portion of corn from South Africa. And I was like, kudos to my African brothers. Yeah, let's go. But let's think about this, right? Conspiracy. What if this is our retaliation, bro? Because let's be real, bro. You taking the domination of my dollar, you taking the strength of my dollar, and you taking my corn. Yo, bro, you stepping on my bread. You feel me? You on my turf. So what if, bro? Because like, what would be the greatest way to get back, bro? What like, think about it, bro. If you control the weather, bro, mash up the corn, bro, mash up the watermelon, mash up all the vegetation. They can't eat nothing. They're gonna starve. like think about it, bro. But that's just me. Let's see what else happened, because I see that they had tornadoes and all that, bro. I trying to see, they going through every known disaster known to man in a month. All they need now is a volcanic eruption, bro. And a massive earthquake. Like, that's crazy.
It's over. The crops are all gone. It's all big hail. Look, it's becoming open rivers. Look, it's hail. It's been falling for more than 10 minutes. Look at the big size hail. Look, large pellets, big size.
That's not snow, bro. That's not snow.
Look, the crops are gone. Only rods are left.
Oh no.
Look, it's raining heavy. This hail. Oh, the ditch is full. My gosh. Look at the corn. It's over.
Oh, poor people. Bro, that's so heart-wrenching, bro. Like, some of them probably just feeling like there's no hope, bro. To give up. Bro, that's real painful, bro. What? You ever get hit with hail? Bro, that shit ain't fun.
There's a tornado. Yeah, look at this.
The city was not only hit by a tornado, but also by heavy rain, thunder, and hail. The sky suddenly turned dark and the wind was strong, so scary.
Bro, what? Done. Ooh. Bro, get away from the window, bro. What you doing? They holding it up.
Look how strong the wind is. It blew down the trees outright.
Sheesh, what are they doing? Bro, what? All of this in 2 weeks?
My gosh, it's hailing in Nanjing. Look at all the hail on the ground. See?
I can see why nobody replied to me yet. Yo, bro, my boy Micah's. Yo, my boy in Hong Kong. Hold on. Bro, what? Let me see if my boy good.
Today there's a sudden storm. Just now it was sunny and beautiful. Now it's like this. Very scary. Everyone look. The sky has dark clouds.
Yo, bro. Yo, bro, what? In 2 weeks, all this madness going on? June 9th. Dog, from June 9th to June 18th, you know.
On a true water curtain cave.
So without food, you know how hard it's gonna be to repair all this?
There is water in every home on this side of the village. Those in the neighboring villages are worse. Some have water up to the windows. My house is raised, but the water still came in.
Bro. Who gonna tow the tow truck? Do they have working water, bro? Like, are they gonna shower? How are they gonna eat? How are they gonna cook? Bro, with all this madness going on, they probably don't have electricity, gas. Like, bro,
Look at this giant tree uprooted. We just watched it fall and smash the side. This gale.
Ouch, this wind will almost knock me down. The grape vine is finished.
What? That's tragic. That's a shame, dog. It's still going on, bro. June 5th. More hail and tornadoes, bro. Like, bro, tell me, how is this natural?
It's over. It's over. The tornado is coming. It's over. The tornado is coming into the town. Ah, it's over. Look at it coming into the town.
Bro, you ever even hear of China getting tornadoes before?
It was about 5:30. It started from the clouds and connected to the ground, like a black pillar. This tornado is going to cause a lot of damage to the local crops, and it has brought heavy rain and hail to several of our surrounding towns.
Look at this big hail. I've never seen such hail in my life. Look, it's turning into a river.
What the fuck? Bro.
The seedlings are all finished. It's all thick hail. The damage to the entire agriculture is very large.
Bro, even the bus got, bro, that's crazy, bro. Nah, bro, that's crazy, bro. Bro, what? Bro, I'd be freaking out, bro. I'd be freaking out.
Whose electric car is being blown up here?
Yo, cuz. Jeez. Nah, bro, come to me with your sticks. I'll fight back, but come to me with a tornado? What I gonna do, bro?
Explosion! Explosion! The trees are up in the air. Look at the trees.
Bro, all of this been going on, bro. Since June 1st, bro. What? They going back even further, bro. June 1st. Hold on. June 1st. And we ain't hear nothing about this, right? Barely hear nothing about this. But Oceangate pop up, the whole world looking at this, bro. The whole world talking about this. But here we have the literal world collapsing on the east, and nobody talking about it, bro. We got emails and paperwork coming out proving scandals. Nobody talking about it, bro. Is Oceangate just a cover up? Is it? Because this is crazy, bro. All of this going on, bro. You watching these videos that I'm showing you right here, bro? And nobody talking about this? Imagine going through a month of this, bro. Bro, everybody there suffering, bro. This is everybody there suffering. So many people lost their vehicles, probably lost their homes, probably lost their lives. It is crazy, bro.
Another flood. No one knows how many people will be displaced.
Jeez. Oh, jeez. Bro, what? That's crazy, bro. Look, what we is. Bro, so they really covering all these. What is this? Where's Shanghai? Is it in here? I don't think so. Oh yeah. Which part of China is this, bro? I should look this up. Let me see what it's gonna look like. Maps. Dun dun. What is B? XIN. Am I seeing that right? Yeah, XINJIAN. Yeah, this place. Facts. 21 million, that's the population? Damn, cuz. Right, but next to it, see, we come down. Let me see if I can find this spot. Find one of these spots. Let me look for this Zhang's. What's this? SHAANXI. Letters XHAANXI. Yeah, there we go. Yo, bro, this. Okay, I had to zoom out a little bit, but still, bro, this is nowhere near water, bro. There's land above it. There's land to that side of it. All right, if you're looking at the screen, oh, you can't see me. Hold on. You can't see the map. I wonder if this John gonna let me do this live. I wonder if you can see this. Can you see that change I just made? I hope so, bro. I really hope so, bro. Cause watch, I just pulled this up on my maps here. There's land above here. There's land all over here. There's land down here. Just this part right here. This right here. Or if you can't see that, let me show you. Cause I don't know if you've seen the mouse there. There's land all the way here. There's land all the way over here. And just from here to right here. Come up here is water. Right here is Beijing. This is Beijing. So here is water. But all the rest of it is not. That's land, bro. So where all this coming from, bro? You telling me all this madman thing that reach all the way up in here come from here, bro? I don't know. But I just wanted to see exactly like where on the map is all this. You know what I mean? But that's crazy, bro. Let me zoom out to this real quick. Jeez. Bro, look at man's car.
This bridge is probably not going to make it. Oh, it's done. It's done.
No way. No way.
The water level is basically up to the waist. The computer is ruined. The refrigerator is destroyed. The expensive medicine is also ruined. The damage must be tens of thousands. This is the farmland with crops planted by the peasants. The seedlings can't be seen in an ocean of water.
On June 19th, China's Central Meteorological Station issued a blue alert for heavy rain. It's expected that in the coming week, the amount of rainfall in many places is 50% to 100% more than the usual amount during the same period. It's expected that in the coming week, the amount of rainfall in many places is 50% to 1 times more than the usual amount during the same period.
Alright, AI. Bro, that is bad. Yo. So there you have it, folks. That's all I'm gonna go through real quick with y'all today, because I don't know, bro, just way too many things happened that week other than Oceangate, and I feel like that's the only thing people are talking about. So I don't know, let me know what you think. You could comment down below. I could be tripping, or you could check it out yourself and see what else is out there. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and like I said, I'm gonna try to put one of my drawing videos to the side so that you can see what else is going on. And I'm constantly working on my timepieces, as well as, you know, I'm working on that little baby drawing that you see if you watch my reaction videos to the YNW murder trial. And other than that, you know, I'm gonna just keep doing me, and I hope you keep doing you.